Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. We've been waiting for this big shift to kick into high gear. And I think, beyond all doubt, it's kicking into high gear now. And just a few more minutes, we're going to be surprised. I say minutes because we're way past the worrying about days and weeks and months ahead. It's minutes now. It's a big shift. Are you ready to make that consciousness shift? Because that's what it is. It's going to be a mind paradigm beyond what we're ready for.
But when I was there, it was strange. I suddenly had this feeling that everything was connected. It's like I could see the whole thing. One long chain of events that stretched all the way back before 𝓱𝓾𝓻𝓮. It was like a perfect pattern laid out in front of me. And I realized that we were all part of it. And all trapped by it. Tonight's your big night. You ready for it? Are we ready for it?
Hi there, Neil here, the Twisted Lightworker. Boy, 2026 has taken off a raging fire. So much happening. There's so much happening. You can't keep up with it making videos, and I've made a bunch of short videos rather than long ones, and the only way you'll find those if you follow me on my social media channels, mainly the Telegram is my big one, and still working on Facebook, so a lot of the shorts get on both of those. So make sure you follow me on those. That's where you're going to find all my short content. But you can see by what I presented in the opening, some very crucial steps are taking place. There's a whole lot more going on around the revealing of the stolen election in 2020. There's a lot of the court proceedings that are available everywhere for anybody willing to do some homework. The Epstein files is coming out too, and now we have evidence of all of the things that Doge uncovered with the Somalia money fiasco. There is so much happening. You have to get excited. You have to be excited, and if you're not seeing the evidence of all of these things and getting excited for the end of this crazy time that we're in, you should be. You should not be impatient. Boy, I tell you, impatience is the most foolish place to be when you realize how much we've come through, all the things that we've got right from the beginning of the pandemic and before. but especially from the pandemic on, there's been so many things take place. And if you're not patient, and if you're not excited, and you're getting frustrated with the time that it's taking, it's only for one reason. You haven't done enough research. That's the only reason that you could possibly be impatient and not excited. You should be really excited because there's so much happening, it's unbelievable. We have to remember some things here. You know, if Jesus was on the planet right now, this is what he would say. Stand tall. You asked me into your heart. Now stand like we are together and act like you believe it. Act like you believe it. What is the second coming of Christ? What is it? Do you really believe that he's going to show up in his own skin? He might. But then again, it might be just a raising of consciousness. And you've asked him already into your heart. Many of you have. You've asked God in your heart. If you haven't asked Jesus, you're praying to God Almighty. And Jesus said, I am in the Father, and the Father is in me, and I am in you. And I speak not of myself, but I speak of the Father within me. So it's God's presence that's awakening right encoded in your DNA. As Q said, protect your DNA. There's a big reason for that too. Big reason. So that's what Jesus would say right now is stand tall. You asked me into your heart, so I'm standing there with you. Now stand like we're together. Stand in your power because you're not alone. There you go. Stand in your power because you're not alone. You know, the hardest thing to do, the hardest thing in the world is to assume the mood of a warrior. It's of no use to be sad or complain and feel justified in doing so, believing that someone is always doing something to us. Nobody is doing anything to anybody, much less to a warrior. It's our own thinking. We create our reality first with our thoughts, then with the actions that we take and the non-actions that we should have taken. All of those things is what creates the reality that you're in. That's right where you're standing, right in. You know, intent is not a thought or an object or a wish. Intent is what can make a man succeed when his thoughts tell him that he is defeated. It operates in spite of the warrior's intelligence. Intent is what makes him invulnerable. Intent is what sends a shaman through the wall, through space and into infinity. God said he's everywhere. In everything. Inside you, inside each and one of your cells. Intent, the power of pure will, stretched to the power of intent. See, a warrior must cultivate the feeling that he has everything needed for this extravagant journey that is his life. What counts for a warrior is being alive. Life in itself is sufficient, self-explanatory, and complete. Therefore, one can say, without being presumptuous, that the experience of experiences is being alive. That's the experience of experiences, is just being alive. I participate in a number of forums and I see a lot of people having that impatience, and they're proving that they're not doing their own homework and doing their own research, so that's why they're impatient, and the proof is in the pudding. They don't even scroll up to see if the questions that they just posted was already answered. Little things like that. Proof that there's an awful lot of people who say that they're awake, but they're only barely aware. They're aware of what's going on, but barely. Because if they were truly awake, they would be following forums from the top to the bottom. When they log on after my night of being off, they would scroll all the way back to the beginning of the day and just see what new things have been posted before they ask any questions, because 99% of the time, they're going to find that the question's been answered. It's exciting to see that many people are doing that, and they're getting frustrated by the people who don't scroll up and don't do their own research. But that's proof in the pie that there's an awful lot of people who are not awake that claim that they are. They're barely aware. They're absolutely barely aware. And I want to wake up the lions. That's what I'm all about. It's waking up the lions. And at the beginning of 2026, I created this video, Happy New Year. I'm going to tell you, just because I named it 2025 ends and 2026 begins, Happy New Year, the future's in our hands. Don't let the name of that video fool you, because that video contains a message of inspiration that should inspire you to get up off the couch and participate in doing some new things. More than half of that video is a message of inspiration. What my objective has been right from the beginning of the pandemic when I started making videos. My fourth video that knocked me off of all the platforms because I was exposing human trafficking. My fourth video, there was a 4-video series exposing the human traffic, and the fourth one was all about waking up the lions. So I've been waking up the lions, or attempting to wake up the lions, for a long time, knowing full well that that's the most important part. We're coming into the close of this great awakening. We're coming into the absolute new beginning. When the gold-backed currency kicks in, we will thrive and be happy, and I call that thrivealism. And the full evidence of that might not be able to be seen until 2030, because it's a huge operation. People have to get that through their minds and accept the fact that it has to unfold at the speed and the way it is, because that's the only way to do it legally, lawfully, and where it's going to be the least negative effect on all of the ones who are sleeping, and also the ones who are only barely aware, who think they're awake. So these are exciting times, and I encourage each and every one of you to do your own research. Go back and listen to videos from the patriots and the anons that you follow. Go back and listen to all of the ones they produced from the beginning of 25 till now. I would like to see you go back further, but if you go back beginning of 2025, you go back 1 year and you follow all of the patriots and anons and content producers that you like to follow, go back and see what they've been talking about for the last year. If you think you're awake, you're going to find out that there's lots that you've missed. I have a heck of a time keeping up, and that's what I've made as a full-time job. That's what I've made as a full-time job. So, I'm encouraging you to watch that video that I produced for January the 1st. It's much more than a Happy New Year. It's a whole lot of inspiration and some deeper way of looking at life. And that's what this Great Awakening is about, is it's a consciousness shift. And the monetary system and getting rid of the evil on the planet, when you really consider the big picture, the consciousness shift is way bigger than all of that combined. The whole world is going to make a complete transformation. It'll be a new way of life. And I call that thrivealism, like I said. A big shout out and a thank you for those wonderful support people that I've had following me, who have made good comments and liking my videos, sharing my videos, and making comments in them in the forums. I appreciate each and every one of you, and a special thank you to those who have taken the time to buy me a coffee. I don't monetize my channel. I'm working on things that I possibly can. I'm looking at options to monetize it where there's possibility where you can make some money on what I'm doing, or make some progress for yourself, because This great awakening is all about you and I touching base with that spirit of the divine that's inside each and every one of your cells. So big thanks for the people who have bought me a coffee. There's a buy me a coffee link in the description below. So like, share, buy me a coffee, and we'll see you on the next video, and hopefully see you in my channels. Hopefully you'll join some of my channels and you catch more of my shorts, my short videos on the news. There's so much coming out. That's the only way to keep up now, is lots of shorts. So I hope to see you in my forums. Love, light, and laughter. And of course, as always, I wish you and yours peace profound.